G'day, Bomber fans. Change of pace today. Obviously, Zach Merrett headlines are dominating the footy world. There is every chance he is in Hawthorn colours next year. So today we're going to find out what a trade could look like between the Bombers and the Hawks. So I've enlisted the help from a good friend of mine, Mr. Julian. Give him a warm welcome. He is a Hawthorn fanatic, a nerdy fan like we are, just from another club. So today we're going to try and negotiate a trade between ourselves to see if there is a meeting point for the Bombers and the Hawks and whether a trade can get done just between these two teams. Let's get into it. Give Julian a warm welcome, a guest on the channel, but also first guest on the channel to be a supporter of a rival club. So he's entering enemy lines here. Hello, Mr. Julian. How are you today?
Hello, Felix. I am very well, thank you. Thank you for finally getting me on the channel.
No, thank you for accepting and joining. So what we're doing here today is we are negotiating a trade.
All
So
right.
you're going to be putting on your Mark McKenzie hat.
Yep.
I am putting on my Matt Rosa hat.
Yep.
We are acting as if we are the list managers of each club, and we are going to be trying our best to negotiate a trade within 18 minutes, because I can't keep you here till the end of the trade period. So we're doing it in 18 minutes.
Okay. All right. That works for me, mate. That works for me. I've got some offers here lined up for you.
Awesome.
So hopefully
Awesome.
we can get this deal over the line.
Yeah, and why we're doing this pretty much is, aside from having fun with it, is to try and figure out if there is a world where both these teams can walk away happy with a deal. Because I don't know if there is one. Before we start, do you think Zach Merrett will be at Hawthorn next year?
Look, the optimistic Hawthorn fan in me likes to think that we will push as hard as we can, but the reality of the situation is that Merritt hasn't even officially requested a trade to Hawthorn. So
That is true.
um, I think I don't think that he will be at Hawthorn. Unfortunately, I reckon Essendon are going to obviously be asking for a lot in return for a player of his caliber.
Yeah,
He's obviously your best player, and he is a Brownlow contender any given year. He's a best and fairest contender any given year.
yeah.
So, I don't think he's going to be at Hawthorn, but I like to be optimistic.
And the fun thing about this is, at least my community, but most Essendon fans that I see talk about this kind of want the trade to eventuate just so we can get something good in return. And because, obviously some bridges have been burned here. So it's kind of a situation where you've got two fan bases wanting the trade to happen. But I mean, it does look unlikely. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, and from a Hawthorn fan perspective, a lot of the stuff I've been seeing is that we do really, really want him, but it's going to take a lot to get this trade over the line, and a lot of Hawks fans don't necessarily want us to blow up our whole draft hand for the next few years or give
Yeah.
away too many really young, promising players just for a near 30-year-old
Yeah.
who's towards the twilight of his career, just so that we can contend for a premiership in the next 2 or 3 years. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a funny balancing act because I think if Tasmania weren't on the cusp of joining the comp, this would be a lot easier to figure out
for
because
sure.
yeah, because Hawthorn can, have a go for a few years, bank on trade drafts in the future, but that's not going to be the case with bloody Tasmania entering and ruining things a bit.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Well, shall we get into this negotiation, Felix?
I think we shall. So as soon as you offer up your first offer, I will start this 18-minute timer, and if we don't have a deal done by then, there is no trade. That is trade deadline day for us. So we got to get this done.
Okay, yeah. So 18 minutes and Hawthorn walk away from this trade period with nothing, and we just go into next year with what we've got,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Well, are you ready with your timer?
I am ready with my timer. Are you ready with your offer?
Yep, I've got my big text document open over
Let's do
here.
it.
So, all
Uh,
right. So
Hit me.
Felix, I
Yes.
will first of all offer you pick number 8 for Zachary Merrett.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's it. Just pick eight.
Just pick 8. That's what I'm going to open up with.
I accept. Nah,
Okay, sweet. Done
yeah,
deal.
done. All right, stop timer. Nah, I think that is where Hawthorn are going to start negotiations, I've heard.
Yes. Yeah.
Which obviously, like, Essendon won't be accepting that. I won't be accepting that.
Fair
Um,
enough.
do you want a counter offer? I don't know if you want what I'm about to offer you. I'm going to give it to you anyway. I don't care what you think.
Okay.
So, I my counter offer.
Yep.
Give me pick eight. I want that.
Yep.
I would also like a future first for next year's
Okay.
draft,
Yep.
a future first 2027.
Okay.
Um, you know what? I wasn't going to offer this. Throw in a future second for next year's draft as well.
Okay.
We'll take Josh Weddle,
Okay. Yep.
Josh Ward,
Okay. Yep.
and um, who else? Nick Watson as well.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, Felix, I'm going to have to decline that counter offer.
Damn it.
Josh Weddle and Nick Watson specifically are going to be part of our core for the next decade, hopefully.
Hmm.
So I think going off that, I'm going to offer you, mate. I'm going to come back with this offer. I'm going to give you Henry Hustwaite. I'm going to give you pick eight. I'm going to give you pick 30 in this year's draft.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a future first in 2026.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. And that's probably where you're kind of looking at like what could be fair. So wait, so pick eight, future first next year, 30 and Henry Hustway.
Yeah, I had a couple of offers that were a little less than that, but considering you jumped out the gate with that
No,
absolutely
fair enough.
bonkers offer, then I had to sort of meet you closer to the middle there, even though it's not
I
very in the middle, but
I appreciate it. And look, I'm sure in the trade period it won't move as quickly as that, but we've got 18 minutes. We don't have 2 weeks. We've got to get this done. So
true that. True that.
nah, look, I think that is on it. Like, if we're talking about fair value for Merritt, that's probably not far off. But unfortunately, because Merritt is, or unfortunately for Hawthorn, because he's got a contract for 2 years, and losing him would be just, not very good for the Bombers. In the short term, it's tough to, it is going to have to be overs.
Of
By the
course.
way, I don't like my community wouldn't know, but Henry Hustaway is someone who we've talked about a lot in the last few years because I was a big fan of him coming into his draft. I remember on draft night I was hyping him up to you when you took him.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
he,
Yep. Yep. I
he hasn't
remember.
he hasn't really like hit his straps or anything just yet, but he's played good footy for the Hawks and the VFL, and he hasn't looked horrible when he came into the AFL side either. Um,
Yeah. He's a funny one, like I see the upside. I do watch the odd Box Hill game, and I can see why he is very highly touted and why we don't really want to lose him, even though he is apparently desperate to get out of Hawthorn.
hmm,
But yeah, whenever he stepped up to the AFL, I just haven't seen those same attributes that he seems to show
yeah.
in the VFL. So that's why I think Hawthorn will be willing to let him go in a trade for a really good player.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, you know what? I'm going to float this next offer to you going off of this.
Okay.
Instead, I'm going to throw you the same deal, but
So pick
instead
eight,
of instead
30,
of
future first. Yeah.
yes, yep, future first 2026. Instead of Henry Hostway, I'm going to offer you Cameron McKenzie.
I knew you'd offer me Cameron McKenzie. That's my
Yep,
boy right there. I've
yep,
been pretty hyped on him joining the club.
yep.
Potentially, obviously. But yeah, he's and my community do know that I like Cam McKenzie a lot. He's a really good user of the footy. I remember his first game against Essendon in 2023. He just looked good. Or
Yep.
maybe it was 2024. No, it was 2023. He just looked good on the footy. Obviously, lost his place a bit in the team this year. I'm not even 100% sure why. Do you have a reason as to why he lost his spot a bit, or is it just better players around him?
I don't necessarily think that Sam Mitchell rates players like Warple or Nash over Frenchie, but
Hmm.
the thing that I've noticed this year, he did start off really, really well this year. I was quite impressed, and I thought that it
Yeah,
was going to be a breakout year, but he really struggles with, I guess, composure when he actually does have the footy in his hand. Like we know he is a good ball user. Every Hawks fan knows that there are similarities with his own coach Sam Mitchell.
yeah,
Just the ability to get out of congestion, hit a target, or get a really nice handball out of congestion. But he gets really flustered sometimes, especially in those high pressure games. And I think that's where he's going to need to sort of step up if he's going to break into the team next year. Obviously, Warple leaving will help with
Yeah,
that. But if we get in a player like Merritt, I struggle to see him playing all 23 games, So
yeah,
that's
and
why I think Hawthorn will be, that they won't want to lose him, but if it is going to take um, Cam Mackenzie leaving to get Merritt in, I think we will be willing to do that at
yeah,
this point.
and I think that's where it's interesting where a player because Mackenzie wants to stay at Hawthorn. He's a Hawthorn fan. Is he a Hawthorn fan
Yes, he
growing
was
up?
a
Yeah.
Hawthorn fan. Yes, he was.
Yeah, so and that's like he in an ideal world he's staying at Hawthorn and winning premierships there, but he might understand that if Merritt comes through the doors, he's not going to get much of a look in a midfield, which is only going to get better than it was this year where he didn't get much of a look in. I am going to reject that trade though. I just
Yep.
so what was it? Pick 8, 30, future first, Mackenzie.
Yep.
I'm gonna just throw this out there. I fully expect you to say no to this.
Okay.
Because I know that Hawthorn would have some untouchable players, but with time left on the clock, it'd
Yep.
be silly not to at least throw this idea out there of pick 8. We'll do the exact same. Pick 8, 30, future first, and Josh Ward.
So, okay, wait. So, is this Mackenzie Ward pick 8, 30, and future first?
It's the same trade, but swap out Mackenzie for Ward, which Ward is a better midfielder than Mackenzie. He's already cemented himself in that first team, and he'll play there when Merritt comes in. I'm just trying to see if I can get a little upgrade, with a player like a Josh Ward, which I fully expect you not to agree
Okay.
to.
Wow. So that is very tempting, Felix, honestly.
Okay, so we're getting
Be
somewhere here.
because yeah, I honestly, because that is
You've got
a
10
little
minutes
bit,
left on the clock, by the way. Just
yeah, that's actually a little bit more enticing than some of these offers that I've actually written down for you over here. So, um, you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I
oh,
know Ward is he's it was a bit of a breakout year for him, but I struggle to sort of see him being much better than he currently is, and that might sound harsh, but I still think that Mackenzie has the higher upside compared to Josh Ward.
really?
And I don't want to see Wardy gone, but you know we have those younger players. If we can keep Cam Mackenzie and Hustwaite, get in Merritt, and then have a core midfield of Day, Merritt, and Newcomb, I don't think Ward being gone will hurt us too much in the long run if we are keeping Mackenzie and Hustwaite. So, Felix, I am going to
Wait,
actually
don't, no,
accept
no,
that.
no. I would offer. Oh, no, no, no. I misspoke. Sorry, I meant pick 8, future first, 30, future second, and Josh Ward.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
sorry,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
must have misspoke. That is what I was offering the whole time. So 8, 30, future first, future second, Josh Ward.
So that's Josh Warden, like what, 4 picks? So that's okay. So that changes things a little bit. Because
And
if
you
that,
know what? Like, okay, let me be real here. I didn't know if I was being silly, but
yeah,
I do rate Cam Mackenzie more than Josh Ward.
no, yeah, so do I, mate. So do I. I
So
think he has a higher ceiling.
what I was hoping you would do is reject that and then we'd fall back on Cam Mackenzie and get other picks in as well.
Honestly, I didn't even include Ward in any of these trade offers that I wrote down, and that's only because I sort of knew that. Well, I hoped that I don't know how to say this. I I didn't think that you'd want him.
Yeah, I get that because I didn't really want him that much. I was honestly I was hoping you would be like, nah, that's crap. We gotta settle on Mackenzie because I just assume that Hawks fans prefer him.
You know what? I honestly after that prelim final where he didn't get a touch after halftime, there's still some issues there with Wardy. So
I do see more upside with Mackenzie, even though he plays less footy. Like,
yeah,
and yeah, so I'm gonna reject my own trade offer.
okay, you're going to rescind it.
It is gone. I never even said that. Forget about
Okay,
it.
okay, mate. Okay,
All
so what
right,
I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to offer up something quite
all
enticing
right.
for
Give it
you,
to me.
mate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to give you Cam McKenzie.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you Jai Sarong. I know he said he wants to go to Sydney, but we're going
Mm.
to try and change his mind.
Okay.
I think he will honestly get a bit more game time at
I
the
I do really
Bombers.
like Jai Sarong.
I'm going to give you pick eight, and I'm going to give you your future first. So that is your future first pick eight, Sarong McKenzie for Zachary Merrett.
All right. I'm gonna eight future first. So the way I see it, Essendon don't really need heaps of draft picks this year.
Yep,
We do. I like next year's draft, 2027. We've got some father sons.
yep.
I'm gonna take away Sarong.
Okay,
All right. He can go to Sydney where he wants to go.
okay.
I do like him as a player a lot though. I'm gonna go pick eight.
Yep,
Uh, future first.
yep.
Can we agree that that's going to be like the base? Eight and future first is going to be there.
They are the guaranteed
Yeah.
inclusions in this trade. Yep.
I think now we're at a stage where it's eight future first, Cam McKenzie, and whatever on top of that that kind of settles it
So
because
do you think that is that? So Cam McKenzie is essential for this trade, do you think?
I think Essendon need a player on top of it, and I can't see a player on Hawthorn's list that is better value than Cam McKenzie. So you can there are better players like Josh Weddle, Nick Watson,
Yeah.
but Cam McKenzie for his value, that is just that's I think it's perfect in the deal. So
Okay.
it makes sense for both teams as well.
All right. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. So okay, I'll
So
accept that as the base three, inclusions.
yeah, eight future first, Cam McKenzie. It's just about what makes sense on top of that.
Okay.
So. I don't even know if Hawthorn would be allowed to give away a 2027 first round pick. I don't know if clubs can trade away all their first rounders. But what uh what I will ask for,
Yep.
I don't know if this is too much, but I'll ask for eight future first, Cam McKenzie, and then the second rounders. So this year's pick 30, next year's future second,
Okay.
which feels like a lot. What do we
So
have as well to offer you?
I'm thinking in hypotheticals here where if we get Sarong over to Sydney, I'm going to assume that we might get their second round pick this year for
Okay.
Josh Sarong, which I think is currently pick 31.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna say that we've done that. So you're asking for, so just to reiterate, Cam McKenzie pick eight,
hmm
and then pick 30 this year, and then a future first and second next year. Is that
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, gee. Okay,
So
so
it
that's a
would
lot
leave
of
you
picks.
with yeah, it would leave you with like third rounders for the next 2 years.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. All right. I'm going to come at you with a counter. I'm going to reject
Okay.
that just because it is a lot to give up.
Fair enough.
It's a lot to give up. So I'm going to offer you instead. I'm going to give you obviously Cam McKenzie, pick eight, future first
Nice.
next year. I'm going to give you pick 30, and then I'm also going to give you. Uh, oh yeah, but you said you don't want more picks this year.
Not really. No.
Yeah, because I was going to offer you pick 39, which is the Warple compensation pick.
Oh.
So now I'm assuming you're not going to be interested in that, are you?
No, I don't want anything past pick 30 this year. In fact, honestly, pick 30 isn't even that enticing. If you had multiple future seconds, I'd want that instead, but I'll happily take pick 30 involved.
Okay. Okay. All right. So look, we're on a premiership tilt here. Um, we're going to have to sacrifice the next few years' drafts to get this trade over the line. And I think that we do really want Merrett. We want a player of Merrett's caliber. And, apart from maybe Zach Butters, there isn't a more enticing player on the market right now. So, look, I'm going to go back and I'm going to accept your offer of Cam McKenzie, pick 8, pick future first, and then the 2 second rounders that you're after. I
Well,
reckon.
there with 2 minutes to spare. So just to clarify, that is pick 8, pick 30, future first, future second. Both those picks, by the way, are going to be in the later on because you'll be up near the top.
Yep.
And Cam McKenzie.
Yep. So I'm going to accept that trade. Do I think that Hawthorn are actually going to accept a trade like that? I don't think so.
No, I
But
don't either.
I as a fan, as a very optimistic Hawthorn fan that we can win a flag in the next couple of years, I'm going to accept that.
And I think Merritt is the last thing you need. Sorry, the first thing you need.
Yeah.
He's the missing piece of the puzzle. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, honestly, I think that it's probably worth the risk because we've already thrown everything at this premiership tilt. We gave up a pick in a super draft year just to get Tom Barrass last year, and Zach Merrett is a much better player than Tom Barrass. So I think that it's going to take a trade like this to get it over the line. So I'm just going to take it.
Yep. I like it. Now, just a quick afterthought as well.
Yep.
Would you be happy to enter into this year's draft? I'll give you pick 29 and you give me a future second for 2027, just because we need some picks for that.
Yeah, you know what, mate? Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Because I think that suits the Bombers better as well, rather than having all those picks in the 20s this year.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'll take that.
I think it's a better pick than what you'd get in 2027 as well. Like it's better value for now,
for
and
sure.
and
Yeah.
and it's we need picks in 2027. So yeah, that to summarize, that trade is pick 8. Or now I've lost track because hold on, pick 8, pick 30, future first, future second, and Cam McKenzie to the Bombers for Zach Merrett and a 2027 second round pick.
Yep.
Are you happy with that?
Yep. I'm happy with that, mate. I'm happy.
I think I'm happy too. I think it's a lot to lose for both teams in certain senses, but I think you've got one team trying to win a flag, one team trying to rebuild. Both teams are getting better assets for their desired, journey and destination. You're getting that elite A grade midfielder that you really need. We're getting draft picks and a young player. I think
Yep.
it makes sense. I'd be happy to see the Bombers get that trade done. I think you'd be happy to see the Hawks get that trade done. Whether or not it will get done, that is the question. That is the big question that we're going to find out in the next few days and weeks. I do think it'll be another club entering the mix if it was to get done. I think that just
Yep.
makes a lot more sense. And I think Merritt as a player, it's hard with this because Hawthorn's pick 8 doesn't really, it's not a great starting point to sell, which
No,
means
absolutely not.
you'd have to include so many later picks, which, it makes it harder to get over the line, even though we did it with a minute to spare. But yeah, I think another club entering the mix will probably be the way it goes if it does go down that road. I'm still going to guess that Merritt stays. I think it's going to be too hard to get done. Are you
For
are you
sure.
are you still on that wavelength?
Yeah, look, honestly, I'm on the same page. I think it's much more likely that we miss out on that A grade midfielder this year. You've got Petrarca looking like he's going to go to the Gold Coast. And you've also got Bailey Humphrey, who I don't think Gold Coast will want to trade. And I honestly think it's more likely we're going to miss out this year and hopefully just throw absolutely everything at Zach Butters next season when his contract runs up at Port. I honestly rate Butters in the long run over Merrett. Obviously, he's younger.
Hmm.
And I think that's honestly what's going to happen. So
I agree, and I think Essendon will be right in the hunt for Butters as well, especially if Hinkley comes to the Bombers, because that is being rumored. That's going to be
yeah,
interesting to
that's
see.
true. That's true.
I think look, it's been rivalries are a little bit dead in footy, I think.
Yeah,
And obviously we're good mates, but it is good to see Essendon and Hawthorn kind of lighting the fire a bit with this off season in a few different ways. You've got John Syracusa leaving as well. I think
that's
Scott
true.
even said in the best and fairest, get ready for round one next year, which is obviously going to be Essendon and Hawthorn. So, even if this trade doesn't get over the line, it's planted the seed for hopefully the rivalry to reignite. Obviously, we're not going to be very good for the next few years, so it'll be a one-sided rivalry, but at least there will be a rivalry.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. Julian, for joining me today. I am glad that we got that trade done. I honestly, can I tell you, I thought we'd just be talking at each other and not really caring about what the other one had to offer because we wouldn't be getting there. But I think this does make sense for both teams.
yeah, for sure.
Or at least for Essendon. Let me know what you think in the comments, Bomber fans. If you agree, any Hawks fans as well joining, let me know what you think in the comments. Again, thank you, Julian, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you. If there are any more Hawthorn and Essendon, trade requests, we will be doing this again. But thank you, Julian. Thank you, Bomber fans. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Hawthorn, welcome Zach Merrett. Essendon, welcome Cam Mackenzie and those draft picks. And go Bombers.
Yeah, go Bombers.